Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Blue Sports Picks. It is good to be back. It is Friday, June 19th, and you usually get a lot of home runs on Friday, so hopefully today's a good day. We only got one early game today. That's at 2:20 p.m., and that is the Toronto Blue Jays against the Chicago Cubs. And we'll move this thing to Friday. So that's when last Friday we had a double parlay hit between Bowers and God, who was that parlay? Let's take a look here in the Discord. I know we had a double parlay hit here yeah, Soto and Bowers last Friday, but uh, Ben Rice is the home run leader actually for Fridays currently this season. He holds it at 8. And then I know Jordan Alvarez is up there with hitting home runs on Fridays, and so is Max Muncy of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who also actually looks good today. So, like I mentioned, one early game today. Uh, as far as the weather, I mean, it doesn't look too bad. We got some wind blowing out here at Sutter Health Park, which isn't no surprise there. I'm going to this game here at Comerica Park tonight. The White Sox at Detroit, so I'm expecting some home runs for this game. Um, but the majority of these parks, we got some domes, and then the wind's blowing in here at Coors Field in Colorado, but nothing really to worry about. And no rain on the forecast today, so good stuff. I know the last video for yesterday's picks and golf picks didn't hit 100 views, so again, let's get this to 100 views. And then, as always, we got to resubmit those comments to enter into that $50 giveaway for everyone. So be sure to tell your friends, mention the channel for me, and I would greatly appreciate it. And as far as like golf goes, before we get dive deep into MLB, I know I gave out my like golf winners for the U.S. Open in Southampton, New York, at Chinook Hills. Let's take a look. Um, Wyndham Clark holds the lead. He was one of the winners that I gave y'all. And then Matt Fitzpatrick is also in the top 5 as well. So if you did take, I think I did mention Wyndham Clark and then Matt Fitzpatrick for first round leader. You got a winner there with Wyndham Clark, who was the first round leader. But yeah, it was a very foggy morning yesterday. But they ended up playing. A lot of players didn't finish due to darkness, so they resumed some of the first round today. But yeah, Wyndham Clark's and Matt Fitzpatrick's looking good for the weekend winner, and moving on into making the cut and playing Saturday and Sunday. So fingers crossed we get a winner this weekend for golf. All right, Blue Jays and Cubs. We got Gosman on the mound against Ben Brown here. Gossman's given up 10 on the season, and Ben Brown's given up 1. So this game's played at Wrigley Field with the wind blowing in. Let's take a look at the model percentage, plus 1%. So this should be a decent game. Am I still on? Oh, there we go. I had to refresh it for today. All right, yeah, so Pete Crow, Armstrong looks good today here. He's always good in that leadoff spot. He's been seeing the ball really good lately. He's here at plus 330 odds. I like Ian Happ, Okamoto for the Blue Jays. And then I'll also like Jesus Sanchez for the Blue Jays as well. Let's see if it's inspected. Yeah, for that lefty righty matchup. And then Vladdy hit yesterday, finally. So I know a lot of people were talking about him finally hitting. So that was pretty cool to see. I was on Springer yesterday, but unfortunately he didn't hit. Um, you could play Michael Bush here also if you want. But it is afternoon game, so I guess just play your cards right here and try not to go too heavy. So yeah, Bush has got one off him. Bregman does, and then Matt Shaw. But Ian Happ is 1 for 10. Keep that in mind. And then Pete Crow is 0 for 3. So, and then yeah, it should be a decent game here. I don't mind it. Should be at least a couple home runs. Let's see what the over under is. So they're expecting about 7 runs here, but Ian Happ looks good. Pete Crow, Jesus Sanchez. Yeah, I don't really like anybody 2 outs, and like I mentioned, I wouldn't go too heavy for this afternoon game. All right, moving on to the evening slate. So we got an evening game here. First game of the evening, actually 6:40 p.m. Probably because they got a concert right after the game. So, Screwball makes his first start at home. I mean, this is his second start coming back from injury, but his first start at home actually. So I'm gonna automatically say I don't like taking anybody against Screwball. All right, but let's take a look at the MLB starting lineups. Yeah, I mean, I would just prefer not to, right? And then against Fed, you could fire up Dingler. I know McGonigal hit not too long ago, so he's probably got good odds. But Green, Dingler looked good. Kerry Carpenter. And then if you want higher odds, you could take Kevin McGonigal. All right, as a single here. I want to parlay him. I just single him. I'll put together a little parlay at the end of this video. And then who knows when Murakami's going to be back for the White Sox. But yeah, Carpenter's my top overall pick here off of Eric Fed. All right. Who has he given up a home run to for the Tigers? Yeah, Carp is 3 for 5 with 2 home runs. Dingler's got one off him. Green, he's 5 for 9. So these 3 right here are hitting really well off of Eric Fed. So I might, since I'm going to this game, I might have like a little same game parlay. All right, maybe I'll fire up like Cart, Dingler, and Green for a home run. Parlay all 3 of these guys. You know, something crazy would like that hit. But we'll see. We'll see what I got. Or I do got like a base play too. On FanDuel, we got a leg builder boost as well. So yeah, Dingler, Green, yeah, and Carp all look good off of Fed here. And plus that wind's blowing out. But again, Comerica Parks is a pitcher's ballpark too. So, but I mean, the wind is blowing out pretty strongly here at 14 miles an hour. So excited for this game to go to tonight. Next game, we'll move on. We got the Reds against the Yankees. So Cam Schlittler on the mound against Rhett Lauder here. So Lauder's given up 3 home runs on the season. Schlittler's given up 5. And then Yankee Stadium's always a good ballpark to bet home runs, right? So the model percentage is showing for this game plus 12%. I feel like I've been chasing Ben Rice actually for quite some time. But he is the home run leader for Friday, so I'm going to go ahead and fire him up. I might even fire him up with like Kerry Carpenter, like do like a 2-man parlay or something. I don't know. We'll see what I got. And I'll be posting here in the Discord as well what play I got. So, but as far as this game, I'm not taking any White Sox, but yeah, these 3 guys look good. But Carp is my favorite. 3 for 5, 2 home runs off of Fed. All right. As far as Cincinnati and New York, like I mentioned, Ben Rice looks good off of Rhett Lauder. So I'll keep chasing him until he hits. And then let's see if I like anybody else. So Lauder's a righty. You could fire up Bellinger if you want, or Jazz for a long shot. Jazz is 310 or Bellinger, but Ben Rice is my favorite. And then as far as any Reds, I'm good if you fire up J.J. Bleday or even Sal Stewart, Nate Lowe. Sal Stewart's my favorite, though, for this game. If I did take anyone. I don't see Bleday on here. Oh, there he is. But Sal Stewart's my favorite for the Reds. And then Ben Rice for the Yankees. All right, moving on. Big slate today. Fridays can usually be pretty good, so probably one of my least favorite games on the slate here, to be honest with you, and I'm probably just not going to bet it, which is San Fran against Miami. So we got Landon Raup on the mound, and Lake Bachar will be the primary pitcher, so this will be a bullpen game. And this game is played in the Dome, but definitely not my favorite. Fulton's going to start. He's a lefty. And then Bachar's a righty. So as far as any... Yeah, I just don't like Giants here. I just don't. But, I mean, you can fire up Devers if you want. And then... Let's see. Yeah, you can fire up Devers. And then you can fire up Hicks or Stowers for Miami, but I just don't like this game. Devers and Stowers. And then the Marlins always have high odds, so. But I'm not betting this game, to be honest. I'm not throwing any guys in a parlay or singling anybody. Maybe single someone, but I'm not going to bet this game overall. All right, moving on. So Washington, Tampa Bay, Kay Cavalli against Griffin Jax. This should be a decent game. Cavalli's given up 6. Griffin Jax has given up 7 home runs so far in the season. I'm good if you fire up James Wood here. All right. Maybe CJ Abrams or Luis Garcia. But Wood's my top overall pick for this game. I mean, he is the home run leader for the Nats for a reason. Luis Garcia's got higher odds, but yeah, James Wood looks really good today. I might throw him in a parlay. I kind of like Kerry Carpenter, Ben Rice, James Wood parlay, but I try to keep it to like at least 2. Better chances of it hitting. But as always, just make sure you're betting your singles as well. All right, you could profit more doing it that way. And then as far as any Rays, let's take a look against Kay Cavalli. Yeah, you could fire up. I mean, Camaro's been all right. How's the Rays against him? All right, yeah, he's only faced 2 of the Rays lineup, so not too much to go off of there. But yeah, I mean, again, not one of my favorite games, but Wood's my top overall pick. You could throw in Caminaro, and then, I mean, Aranda if you want. Cedric Mullins would be a good long shot, but yeah, James Wood I would take from this game, to be honest with you. Milwaukee against Atlanta. So this should be an all right game. I think Martin Perez has actually given up quite a few home runs on the season. And then as far as weather goes here, Truist Park, wind blowing out. The temps are all looking really good today. But plus 1% model percent chance for home runs, which, I mean, I'm not too worried about. But I'm good if you... Let's go back here. Oh, Martin Perez was only giving up 6. So, and both these guys have good ERAs. So, again, I'm probably not going to go too heavy in this game. But Olson's my top pick here for the Braves. Atlanta's always a good stadium to bet home runs for. So, But yeah, you could take Matt Olson. And then as far as anyone here for the Brewers, I'm digging Chourio for that righty versus lefty. Jake Bauers isn't an expected lineup here. So Chourio. Yeah, Bauers might have the day off. And then if he plays, I was going to say I like Gary Sanchez as well for that righty versus lefty. Yeah, I don't see him on here, but I like Gary Sanchez, Chourio and Gary Sanchez and Bauers if he plays. But this should be a decent game. Should be a couple home runs this game, so I don't mind it. All right. Hope everyone's got some good plans this weekend. Hope everyone's doing well, and as always, be sure to like and subscribe and comment on the channel. All right. But yeah, that's all who I got for this game here. Moving on. We got the Padres and Rangers. So Randy Vasquez against Jacob deGrom. Both righties on the mound here for this game. And then as far as the weather goes, it's in the dome. So I'm not too worried about, weather. I'm not worried about weather at all for this game. I mean, I just like looking at the wind here today, to be honest with you. But for this game, I'm good if you fire up Joc Pederson for that righty versus lefty today. And then Jake Burger would be my two picks here. I think Joc Pederson actually has one off of Vasquez as well. So Joc Pederson, as you can tell, plus 390. And then Jake Burger. And as far as anyone goes for the Padres, maybe Morel and then Manny Machado. I don't mind Sheets here either. He pops off every once in a while. But Machado's my top pick here for the Padres. And then Gavin Sheets. So this game should be decent. I mean, both guys have 11 and 13 home runs, so 24 home runs combined together on the season that they've given up. But yeah, I think Vasquez, I think Peterson's got, he's 2 for 8 though. So. But Joc Pederson is my top pick for the Rangers and Machado for the Padres. All right, we'll keep this rolling into Cleveland and Houston. Tanner Beebe on the mound against Tatsuya Ame. Again, this is another dome here. Let's take a look. So, Tanner Beebe's given up 15 home runs on the season. So go ahead and fire up Jordan. I mean, go ahead. Why not? He likes hitting on Fridays as well. Let's see how many home runs he's got. He's actually got 6 home runs on Fridays so far this season. So I'll have some plays in the Discord, and I'll try to remember them. I got a busy day today, so I'll try to remember to post them in the comments as well. But let's take a look at Tanner Beebe here. So yeah, Jordan's 4 for 6. So I already liked him just because of that lefty versus righty matchup. And then Christian Walker. And then Isaac Paredes. I actually like Walker and Paredes more than Jordan. And Walker's even got better odds, and so does Isaac. As far as anyone for Cleveland, Paredes got one Walker. So Paredes is only 1 for 9. I thought Walker had one off him too. Yeah, he's 3 for 8. And then as far as Tatsuya Ame, I mean, for Cleveland, I don't know. I mean, pick your favorite lefty, I guess. That's all I could tell you. But I like Astros here more, and I'm not going to go heavy this game. So, all right. So we'll move to St. Louis and Kansas City. Michael McGreevy on the mound against Seth Lugo. So again, two righties here. I don't really like this game. I don't know if I even really want to cover it, to be honest with you. I mean, Salvador hit yesterday. Caglione, you could take him. But, yeah, maybe just Caglione and Salvador Perez for this game for Kansas City. Since I do like back-to-backs. Both these guys went yesterday, if I'm mistaken. Let's take a look at the Dinger Ringer. Yeah, Perez. Yeah, Caglione went. So I'm good if you take those two guys. And then as far as anybody for St. Louis, I mean, you can. I like Burleson. You can fire up Burleson if you want. How's the weather in Kansas City look? All right, wind blowing out 6 miles per hour and plus 15 mile percentage. So, but this isn't my favorite game to target. There's other games to bet on, but yeah, that's about all I got for this game. Pittsburgh against Colorado. So this should be a home run friendly game, but then again, we thought that last night with the Athletics game, the way that game started out. But we got Bubba Chandler on the mound against Kyle Freeland. So Bubba Chandler's a righty and Kyle Freeland's a lefty. Ozuna's got one off him, and then so does Jared Triello. Reynolds is switch hitter. He's 3 for 13. Lyle's 1 for 4 off him. Then as far as Bubba Chandler against Colorado, yeah, he hasn't really pitched too much against Colorado. As far as this game goes, I'm good if you fire up. Let's go to the odds. I'm good if you fire up Goodman here. Brandon Lau. And then let's see if I like anybody else. I did mention Marcell Ozuna. And then you can fire up Reynolds if you want. But I like these three the most. Hunter Goodman's my top pick here for the Rockies. And then any long shots I like. Yeah, that would be it for this game. Angels and Athletics. So Mike Trout's on the 10-day IL. He did something to, I think it was his right hamstring, so he'll be out of the lineup for a little bit. So just want to put that out there. But this should be a good game to target here. As I mentioned earlier in the video, wind's blown out, plus 37% model percentage. So I like that. We'll check out the home run odds for this game. They might be Newt, which I wouldn't be surprised. Let's take a look. I think Soriano was actually supposed to start last night, but he got wiped. But I think he is coming back from the injury, actually. At least I think he was. But Soriano's given up 9. Springs has given up 19 so far in the season. Adele's got 2 home runs off him, but Adele hasn't hit in a while. So maybe he can find his groove. When's the last time he hit? June 7th. So it's been a couple weeks. But hopefully he can go yard finally again today. And then, how's Nito? Nito's 1 for 4 off him. But yeah, Adele looks good here. But I'm not taking him. I think the Athletics look better for this game, to be honest. But yeah, you can fire up Nito if you want. And then Adele. Joe Adell and Nito. But I'd take an Athletics this game. I'm not taking any Angels. So I'd take Kurtz, Shea, and then Lawrence Butler's got good odds here if you want to single him for that lefty versus righty matchup. So Kurt, Shea, and Lawrence Butler here for the Athletics. Should be a decent game to target. All right, moving on. Try not to make this video too long. We got a few more games to cover. We got Minnesota against Arizona. So you got Connor Prelip on the mound against Michael Soroka for the Diamondbacks. Scroll down here. So Prelip's given up 5 home runs so far in the season, but he's got a higher ERA here of 5.26, and then Soroka is 3.11. It should be a decent game, but I'm good if you fire up. Let's wipe these guys and go take a look at some odds. Automatically, I mean, you can fire up Buxton. Clemens is good. Yeah, Buxton and Larnach here for Minnesota. I'm sorry, Clemens. Did I say Larnach? Yeah. Clemens. And then as far as D-backs, Carroll's going to be my top pick here. But Marte's even a good go since he is a switch hitter. But Buxton and Carroll are probably my top 2 picks this game. But Marte's a switch hitter, so I do like him too. We were all high on Buxton yesterday. He looked so good, and then he just didn't hit a home run. So that was very unfortunate. All right, getting to the 2:10 p.m. games, the late nighters. Ranger Suarez against Luis Costello. He's going to be the primary pitcher for the Mariners. And who will start on the mound is... Let's see, I'll make sure I talk about that. Ranger Suarez against Luis Costello. But Bryce Miller will start. He'll probably pitch an inning or so, a couple innings. Then Costello will come in. But I'm good if you... Let's take a look at these odds. So I'm good if you fire up Wilson Contreras for Boston. Wilyer, Abreu, and Duran always look good. Let's take a look. Wilyer, Abreu, and Duran. And then as far as Mariners, I'm good if you fire up Mitch Garver against Suarez. Cal hasn't hit in a minute. I mean, you could fire up even Julio if you want, but I do like Garver today and then Julio. But I don't like the Seattle ballpark that much, so probably won't go heavy this game either. And both home runs both pitchers have been decent, so. All right, getting to the last game on the slate, Orioles and Dodgers. Last but not least. And then I'll put together a couple plays and let y'all go. So Trey Gibson against Roki Sasaki. All right, so we should see some home runs this game. I'm good if you fire up Max Muncy here for that lefty versus righty. Otani looks good. Freeman. But Muncy's not in the expected lineup here. Let's see if he's showing up in the odds. Yeah, he is. And then, yeah, Freddie Freeman's not even showing up in the odds. But Max Muncy's my top pick here for the Dodgers. And then, as far as any Orioles, you can fire up Gunnar Henderson and Pete Alonso. So Pete Alonso and Gunnar Henderson. So, but that's about it for all these games here. I know I keep repeating myself, but always make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. But yeah, I think like I mentioned, my parlay here. I think like I'd go like I might do something for this game like a base, or I might just have some fun with it and do like Green, Dingler, and Carey or something. All right. And then that would be awesome going to the game, seeing all three of those guys homer. And then I wouldn't mind like a Carey Carpenter play. A Carpenter, maybe like matched up with like Ben Rice or something. So we'll go. Here's my top guys right now, anyways, from what I've seen on the slate. James Wood. These are my top guys at the moment. And then let's see. Jock Peterson. And I do like Christian Walker today. Like I mentioned, I like Walker today more than Jordan. So these are my top 5 guys so far on the slate that hit a home run. But as always, be on the lookout. All right, make sure you comment. All right, get into that giveaway. Get us up to 100 plus views. Comment to get yourself entered. All right, so $50 going out in a hat to whoever comments. So yesterday's comments got splashed, so be sure to comment on this one. 100 views, like and subscribe. Blue Sports Picks. All right. So I appreciate everyone, and I hope everyone has a good weekend. We'll see when I'll be back. I work the next 3 days, but I always try to get out videos when I can. All right. It's also hit a PGA US Open winner, so fingers crossed. Matt Fitzpatrick and Wyndham Clark are looking good so far. So hopefully come back with some MLB winners and as well as PGA winners. All right, y'all take it easy.